Welcome to this podcast, Holistic Creators, where we share our unique and universal stories about shaping the future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. My name is Sahar Nafal. I'm a mental coach and your host of this show. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to a holistic future. So welcome. Welcome to my podcast, Holistic Creators. My name is Sahar and I'm your host. Today I have a very special guest with me, Sahar Nafal. She is the founder of the Soulful Leader community, soul guidance mentor, and creator of the Soulful Leadership Archetype and speaker. So welcome to my show.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
I'm curious, what is soulful leadership? What is behind this word?
I love that question. So I have a story I want to share with everybody. Hi, everyone. My name is Sahar Nafal. I'm founder of the Soulful Leader online community. I have been building community for the past 15 years, specifically for women. I've done over 300 in-person live events, workshops, seminars, 2 days, programs, everything you could ever imagine for women. So it's teaching them and supporting them in any way in order for them to just be more alignment, helping them clean the inside in order for the outside to flow with ease and grace. And before the pandemic, I used to actually be teaching. I used to teach community building, business building. I used to coach and mentor and train people on how to have more clients, how to network better, because that's what I was really in and I'm really good at it. But when the pandemic happened, I went inwards and everything that was familiar to me in my business just literally was wiped out. I know many of you who are watching probably relate, right? When the pandemic happened, no more clients wanted to hire me, right? Even those who owed me money no longer could afford to pay. I wasn't able to, I had to tap into my savings because I wasn't able to pay my bills for my business. And so I made a decision to just allow whatever's supposed to happen flow. After I went through the hurricane of, oh my God, our world is changing. What do I do now? I decided to go inwards and I said, okay, I am going to trust whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, trust. I'm very connected, as you know, and I'm very tuned in to my intuition, to my spirit guides. I listen when I'm guided. I was guided to go inward and trust. And instead of being in that scarcity, working hard or hiding or what do I do now? I made a decision to just trust and allow whatever guidance is supposed to come through. And you know what I was guided to do? To serve humanity right now. To serve humanity right now. And it was so beautiful the way I was guided. And of course the ego part of me, right? My fears, like, serve humanity, like, hello, I need to be served right now. What do you mean serve humanity? And Spirit God said, just serve humanity. And I said, all right, I surrender. And so with that was birthed the soul guidance session. I was giving exact and precise instruction on what I need to do in order for me to serve humanity. And so the soulful leader that within me, no longer the one who just works and led with how much income I need to make in order for me to pay my bills, now is about how can I serve humanity in order for me to allow the flow to come with ease and grace. And now I'm teaching that because I'm embodying it and I'm living it. And that's where that soulful leader within me was birthed.
Yeah, wow, this is a so strong story. And I totally get that in this moment when we come into anxiety, feeling the pressure, okay, the old system is somehow breaking down and what has been established is not working anymore. Then having also the power to sit down and to calm yourself down, to get this kind of information, because I can understand that people get more in a hurry. I need to do something else and go this way or that way, but not being aligned with what is really coming out at the moment. And I see a lot of people that get this information. We really need to change the world to create a better humanity and a future that is based on different values that than it has been before. So how did you do that, that you were able to calm yourself down and not to go deeper into this fear, but really to get this information and to channel that?
Lots of meditation. I have tools like every single one of us out there. I have a feeling that those who are watching right now are light workers, right? Could be people that are creating change somehow, somewhere. That you could be a coach or a healer or someone who has a gift that you're giving back in order for you to create better world, right? And we all have the tools. And so what if we went into that toolbox and said to ourselves, everything that I've been teaching and coaching, and that's exactly what I did, I could actually apply to myself. And with the guidance, I was actually told what needs to be done in order for me to clarify, purify, and to get the information in order for me to serve humanity. And when I looked at my timeline, I have been getting prepared and ready for this moment way back in September. I 100% believe September 2019 is when I began to shift physically. I wanted to purify. I said, something is happening. I'm not sure what it is. And I began by shifting my diet to completely to be plant-based, right? Then I began to work out and exercise and getting my physical body ready. I started going inwards, doing more meditation. I started to connect. I hired a coach, a spiritual coach, and was with her for 6 months to learn aspects of me that I need to connect with within. You know, I began to go out and walk in nature. I began to hug trees. I began to swim in the water and allow whatever it is that's no longer serving my highest good, my highest will, my highest purpose to be released, right? I was getting prepared for this moment, but I didn't know what it was. So what I want to invite each and every one of you, when you are going through something of that and you're not sure what to do, if you are a healer, if you use the tools that you have within you, or reach out to someone, seek their guidance, seek their help and support. And so that's exactly what I did. So I decided to open my toolbox that I've had for 15 plus years. And what can I use from this toolbox with the support of guidance by higher self, right? With God. I'm very connected to Mother Mary. So what can I do in order for me to be in that place of serving? That was my thing, is how can I serve? And so I was guided to serve doing these 25-minute gifting, these 25-minute sessions that include a scanning, which I'll talk to you about it in a little bit, but I just want to answer that question, to about over 150. Now I've done maybe 400 or 500 of them, just literally giving them without any expectation, just gifting people. So that's how it is. I opened my toolbox and I said, okay, let's go ahead and use some of these tools I haven't used for a while now.
Yeah. And I totally understand you, because being connected to nature again, and understanding what impact food has for us, and what are the consequences eating this or eating plant-based, for example. All these things are kind of easy to do, but you must be aware that this could help you. Also doing meditations, of course, it is not like it is woo-woo stuff, but finding the time and doing this kind of things, and understanding for everybody what is really good for themselves. And for me, for example, it is also, I like to work out so that I feel the power that I have in myself. But I also like to go to the ocean and have a swim and feel nature, of course.
Yes, and I love that about you. I know that you really are a big advocate of working out and physically staying in fit. So I honor you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So again, you said you have been prepared, and what you already shared was like when it started in September. What about the time before? Because normally we all getting prepared over our whole lifetime. So what have been other aspects or experiences you had where you, if you now look back, can understand, okay, this is now also in my toolbox, and if I haven't had this experience, this would be missing somehow. What were experiences and aspects you had in your life?
You're talking about previous to that,
Yeah.
just to clarify the question. So I, for the past about 12 years since I started to be doing this work, I was in real estate prior to that, believe it or not, with my ex-husband. And unfortunately, it was a unhealthy, abusive relationship and marriage for 18 years. And I made a choice to leave that. And I started my group in my family room. That my first platform was called The Bright Side of Life, because as I was living the dark side of life, I wanted a path to the bright side of life. So metaphorically, we called the platform The Bright Side of Life. And I invited a few women, about 6 or 7 women. I remember it was February 23rd of 2008. And I was going through so much adversities. I was going through a divorce, very, very, very hard divorce, so you could imagine. I was going through bankruptcy, foreclosure on many properties. I was going through child support courts, uh, child custody courts. I was going through everything you could ever imagine during the time when I said a yes to leaving this abusive relationship. And that's when my personal development and growth part of me said, it's time for you to step on that path that you have chosen in order for you to serve humanity, specifically women. But there was a lot of adversities that I had to overcome. And one of my tools that I really use is always to look at the bright side of life. What good things have come to me from staying on that path that I have chosen? So no fear or doubt. It's that by Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you knew who walked beside you on that path that you have chosen, you could never experience fear or doubt again. That was my quote. That was the quote that I lived while I was going through all the adversities. That was the quote that helped me bring in few women in. And before I knew it, within a year and a half, we had over 250 people that were at my events at the Marriott Hotel, where I had Dr. John Gray, the author of Men from Mars, Women from Venus, author. It was that allowed me to continue with all the adversities that happened. We all have someone that walks around besides us on that path that we have chosen. We are never alone. And that's the one thing that I want to invite each and every one of you who's watching right now, is to remember that you are never alone. You may be physically alone due to circumstances. I live alone and I love being alone. I am hoping to call in a partner this year, but I love being alone because I am secure with being alone, because I'm aligned, because I know that I am not alone, right? Whether you want to call it God or Christ or whoever you believe in, just know that you are not alone. And that's what got me from the dark side to the bright side. And that tool I continue to use. I continue to pull out of my box, and I continue to remember when I get to the dark space. Now listen, we're all human. We all have our processes in life, right? We all have our timeline of all the adversities, right, that happen to us in order for us to grow and evolve and become better human beings. And during these times, you have to always remember that there's always the bright side of life. If you could just remember that, it will make your life much easier while you're going through whatever adversities that you're going through, especially right now during our pandemic.
Yeah, so what I also see is that at the moment, because of the situation, a lot of people are isolated. And yeah, even though they normally have friends and people to speak to, we are now going more and more on the into digital conversations than we really have them in person. Okay, it's different here in Madeira, but in a lot of places, it is really that way, that people are not allowed to meet. And so understanding that there are always other people that are also with you who would like to come into a community and share their wisdom and speak about the situation is also very helpful. And of course, if you have the connection to your higher self or to creator, God, whatever you call that, then you would never walk alone. This is so true.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true.
What did you get out of this community you created? So no, this is not the right formulation. I tried again. if you see these women coming together, what was the impact this made on every special person?
Yes. So I became a community leader, community builder. I helped women weave their gifts, their wisdom. I helped women have a place to go. And I had some, I call them the bright men that showed up as well. But I really helped them with their sharing their messages from the stage. I really helped as I'm building community. You know, I did some stats with my team a couple of years ago. We have served, the Bright Side of Life community have served over 30,000 people that have come through our programs. I'm talking about in-person live events. We've had over 300 live events. You can imagine the impact of these people. They became better financial. They learned more about their health and wellness. They became more in tune with who they are. You know, I continued to evolve and grow. They helped me. They were my community. Unfortunately, my family wasn't there at the time while I was going through raising my girls on my own, putting them through college. You could imagine, you know, leaving a multi-million-dollar home and the boats and the vacations. I had everything. I had everything. But I didn't have the community that I really needed. So I thought to myself, if I couldn't have community, right? What I really need right now is to help and see what other women who don't have a community to come together. And yes, to your comment about the pandemic and how it made us separate. So I'm gonna just be totally honest with you about how I lived the pandemic, because it's really, really important. And I'm going to share with you, and I would love to talk to you about the 4 soulful leader archetypes that showed up while I was doing these sessions with people during the pandemic. But I lived my pandemic as though there was no pandemic, meaning whatever you think about comes about, right? If your attention, where our attention goes, our energy flows. I'm not saying I denied that there was this pandemic and that there was this thing called COVID-19. And I did honor those who were surrounding me to make sure the mask is on when it's appropriate. But I did not, after the swirl, when I began to serving humanity, it wasn't about me hiding anymore, because that would have been selfish of me. I just lived my life normally. For those who were safe for me to get together with, I did that. For those family members that I could invite over, I did that. Nobody was in danger. Nobody got sick, because my mindset was about me getting the COVID. It was about how can I serve humanity and continue to live my life. I've traveled a lot, visiting families and friends. I didn't allow my energy to be focused on the negative, because I learned how to live on the bright side of life, right? And right now I hear stories after stories of people isolating themselves, people, and they go, how did you deal with it? I didn't even have that. I fully respect the way I live, and I continue to live it without endangering anyone, because I've always, you know, was very mindful about everyone else in my space. I didn't go with friends that chose not to see me, and I honor that. But I chose to hang out with people that are also on the path of the bright side of life. So I just want to tell you, if you're isolating yourself, I want you to really rethink right now, whatever you're, and I tell you one thing that I've learned. Those who really feared getting COVID, every single person, whether it was a friend or family member or someone from my community, they all got it, because they called it in by their fear base, right? And if you focus on that, I am healthy, I have my back, the universe has my back, I'm always going to stay healthy. You don't need to be isolated. Just trust the process. A lot of people don't trust that they are taken care of. I have angels to my left, to my right. I have angels above and below that will always protect me. I continue to live the life that I want. I just got back from Mexico, and I had a fantastic time with my cousin. A lot of people were unmasked. I am protected. I am not going to get that. That's just one example. You don't need to be isolated. Just trust that you will always be taken care of, and focus your attention on things that matter to your family, your friends, right? And yesterday, for the first time, I walked into a grocery store. And again, I want to honor those of you who may or may not feel the same way as I do, but we live in a country in the United States that we are free to share whatever and live the way we should, the land of freedom, right? For the first time, my daughter and I walked into a grocery store without any mask. And she's the one who initiated. She's 27 years old. And you have no idea how free it felt. And I said to her, we have to honor everybody else. She said, Mom, it's going to be over soon. We're both healthy, and let's just walk in. You teach us. You keep teaching, Dima and I on how to trust. Let's just do it. And I walked in, not a single person said anything, and it felt really, really good, because eventually this thing is going to blow over. Eventually there is going to be a light at the end of the rainbow. I'm not endangering anybody. Most of the people had their COVID shots, and good for them. But again, my attention and energy is not on whether I'm going to get sick or not, whether I'm going to get it or not. Is how can I live my optimum healthy life in order for me to continue to serve humanity? This is what I lead with. This is what I lead with.
Yeah, I see two things in that. On the one hand, of course, if people are in a low frequency, like in fear or shame or guilt, then of course the biochemistry will react in a certain way, and the immune system will be going down. And so it is more easy for any kind of virus to attract this person, and they get an infection. As soon as you go into the higher vibrations, your body will bring out another biochemistry, and of course this will make you healthy, or let you stay healthy. So there is a direct connection between what is your emotional state and of course how does your health system react on viruses. And if you have the mindset, life is happening to me, then you are not creating your life, and everything that surrounds you will have an impact in a different way than when you say, okay, I want to create my life and serve humanity, and I want to step on my path. Then you are concentrated and you're creating what you want to really create.
I love that. That's very well said. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and for me, all this time was kind of the same, like you said. I was always in a good frequency. I did everything to stay healthy, and of course also have my projects and everything. So for me, I see a lot of people suffering from the situation. I don't feel that. So you just started to tell a little bit about the archetypes. What is this about?
Thank you. So during the time in which I began to serve humanity, and I had absolutely no reason other than I was guided to do so, and that's what I was told. So when I began to do the scanning process, the soul scanning process, and it is literally, I just go inwards and I ask permission to go energetically and feel into the person's energy field like I did with you. And I see images. I began to see images. And I've been doing this for 15 years with my private client. I really never went out public and shared it with anybody. And so when I do the scan I start seeing images and I start taking note. I'm going, okay, there is a correlation between certain people. And I start seeing a pattern, which later I was told through spirit guides that they are the soulful archetypes. And there were 4 of them. There was, and most of these people, again, are people of service, people that are coaches and healers and teachers and speakers. During that time of pandemic, the 4 archetypes that showed up while I was doing the scanning, and I've done about a couple of hundred of them, was 4 archetypes. The first one was the hidden leader. The second one was the working hard leader. The third one was the wise leader. And the fourth one was the evolved leader. And so the soulful archetype number 1, which was the hidden leader, showed up in a way where they were hiding, right? I saw images such as hiding behind glass doors, hiding in iron doors, hiding in boxes, in bags, in mud wraps, in gauze. They were hiding in banana peels, even hiding in a bunny suit. I've seen so many hiding, and I said, okay, so what is that? So the hidden leader, each and every archetype has a limiting belief pattern, right? For the hidden leader is this shall pass, but they are frozen with fear. They're not doing anything. They're just literally hiding, like I mentioned a little bit before. They're frozen of fear of the unknown. And I went through that just for a little bit. It's like, what is going on right now in the world? They're very unclear about their future or purpose, right? There's also another archetype within the hidden archetype. This one is the hidden archetype by choice. And the hidden archetype by choice usually is like they go inwards, right? They're reflecting on their situation and the solution. They want to rebirth something new with their new program or new business or something new that they know that it's their calling, but they haven't had an opportunity to pause, take a breath in order for them to do that. And again, I went from the hidden leader of fear to a hidden leader of choice. And this leader also is fully trusting that all will be well. So this is the hidden leader. And by the way, I do have slides. I don't know if you're okay with me sharing them here. Would that help the audience, or would you rather just for me to continue with that slide?
We can share let me see if I can give you the permission to.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you should be able to share.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. And let me just go to up here and begin. Oh, I'll begin here. There we go. So this is the hidden leader archetype. Do you want me to redo this again so we can do the slide?
Yeah, give us this presentation. So I'm curious. I've not heard about that, so I'm totally curious to hear more about that.
Okay, sure. So again, these are the 4 archetypes. For those who are visual, they could see that. They are the 4 soulful archetypes: the hidden leader, the working hard leader, the wise leader, and the evolved leader. And as I mentioned earlier, the soulful archetype number 1 is the hidden leader. As you see here, the hidden leader, I see when I do the scanning that they're hiding under the beds. This is physically what I see behind glass, iron doors, in boxes, in bags, in mud wraps, in gauzes. Just recently, I've seen someone stuck in the mud as well, right? And they all have a specific representation of why they have that specific way of hiding. The hidden leader, limiting thought pattern or belief is this shall pass. They're frozen with fear and of the unknown. They're unclear about their future or purpose. The hidden leader is also, another one is by choice. They go inwards, they reflect on their situation, rebirthing something new, trusting that all will be well. So that is what a hidden leader. I went from a hidden leader with fear in the beginning of the pandemic, like many people, but right away with the guidance of spirit, I decided to go inwards by choice, and I rebirthed the Soulful Leader new program. Now, the second one is, quickly I'll go through this, is the working hard leader. Now, these, when I do the scan, I see multiple hands working at many different projects, running in circles on a pedestal. I see you on roller coasters or even roller skates as well. I've seen that before. They give more and continue to give more. One door opens and the other one shuts, but nothing is coming out of these doors. I see you on a hamster wheel. So constantly working, and their limiting belief or thought pattern is the only way to succeed is by working hard, really hard. So they go through burnout and exhaustion. I'm sure some of you relate. Maybe in the past you've been through this one, right? Not going far in your business because you are in and out of different projects, working, doing multiple things, and not going anywhere. Also, one of the reasons people work hard is honoring the family dynamics. Dear mom and dad, in order for me to succeed in this world, I am going to make sure that I will work very, very hard, just like you did, excuse me. And so they continue to work hard, but nothing happens. So I just want to know before we move into our next archetype, do you have any questions in regards to these two?
No, because I have been in these states as well. So for me, it is totally clear. On the one hand, like when something is overwhelming, like hiding myself or like freezing like a rabbit and not doing anything, and then yeah, something is coming out when I start getting hidden by choice. So I had this state before I was going here to Madeira. Also being close to burnout, I worked a lot and without making any progress in what I really wanted to create, but in, of course, making money, this is something different.
Right.
But yeah.
Yes. And so the third archetype, and thank you for sharing, because for those of you who are watching, I really encourage you to write this down. And of course, you get to watch the replay. Write down and see which one you relate to. So let's move into our soulful leader archetype number 3, and that is the wise leader. So here's what I saw when I did the scan. I saw these beautiful, bright colors, people wearing clothing that are just so beautiful and bright and fluorescent. I saw this calm and steady. I saw a lot of people are like plants and flowers, you know, and sometimes animals, like they're spirit animals. I've seen a lot of snakes and rabbits and just beautiful earthly, right, elements as well. So the wise leader limiting pattern is this: I am safe now. No need to upgrade or change, right? Clear about their teaching and messages, the leadership role, like they're very clear. They've been doing this business for a long time. And yet there is something more, a deeper knowing that something needs to be upgraded. But because they're so comfortable in their zone, it is sometimes not easy for them to get out of their zone, right? And so that would be the third archetype. Again, if you relate, please write this down. And then we have the last one where we're all moving towards 2. And this is called the evolved leader. Number 4, I see you as angels dressed in white, in green, beautiful light. I see you as love. I see you as divine energy, peaceful in stillness. A lot of time, and it's not often that when I do the scan, I see this, I often tear up because the frequency is so high that I literally energetically get goosebumps all over my body, and I began to tear. That's how beautiful the evolved leader is. The evolved leader goes through a pattern or limiting belief that all is well in my world, living on the bright side of life, right? The universe has my back. I am safe. I fully trust the new way of being in leadership instead of the doing or hiding, right? Or staying where I'm at. I surrender to what is. I know that all will happen in divine order and divine timing, right? All is well in my world. Is there a mantra? All is well in my world at any given time. All of us are working towards that. All is well in my world. So these are the 4 archetypes that showed up for me. Now I'm teaching it, right? And so each of these archetypes come with a specific imagery that's the meaning, which provides us with detailed soul guidance process called the altar process. And now so everything, because I said yes to serving, this new program was birthed. And now I'm teaching hundreds of people and coaching hundreds of people on the altar process, in which I would love to share if we have more time, but I'll quickly go over the altar process. Is we ask for what we want and what we desire. We listen to spirit guides. We take action on what we listen and we're told to do. We engage with people that we love. We engage in taking our gifts out to the world. And lastly, we become open to receiving. We become open to receiving. And so now I have online programs. I have coaching programs, all based on the archetypes and the altar process. Why? Because I said yes to serving.
What I think is really interesting is the second state of listening, because what I often see is that people asking for something and then they are so quick with taking action that they don't really listen deeply to understand what is really the process they have to create, or what they don't see synchronicities appear because they are already going to the next step and doing something. So what about this listening? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. This is, I call it, when I'm teaching and coaching, I call it holy listening, right? We don't take enough time. I love what you just said. We don't take enough time to pause. We don't take enough time to just really listen. And often, just like you said, we run into taking action. But you know what we're listening to? Not the divine, but we're listening to the clutter that's in our heads, right? We're listening to the clutter that's in our head that we were conditioned to believe to be true, whether it is from growing up, our conditioning, our upbringing, our religion. This is the stuff that's in our head that sometimes keeps us stuck or hiding or not moving forward. But what if we say through meditation and listening to the divine, allowing the channels between you, spirit guide, allowing the channels between you and God, and completely trusting, knowing that everything is going to be taken care of, and that whatever it is that you listen to when you are purifying, that these are the things that you'll be taking action on. So some of the things that we typically listen to are clues, serendipities. There are no accident you and I met. I don't even remember how we met. We may have been introduced, or you may have found me. Look at this. Now you and I are synchronizing to bring this new work to whoever it is open to receiving it and taking it in, right? There are no accidents. So one of the things that I look clue for is, who is it am I supposed to be connecting with in order for me to take action with or for? Sometimes clients out of the blue show up because someone referred them, or they saw my photo, or they heard me speak on Clubhouse or on Facebook or what have you. And maybe some of you may relate to what I have to say right now as well. And when they are in that frequency of connecting to other people before they take action, because they listened and they paid attention to the clues, to the serendipity, to the coincidences. That's what you listen for. From that place, you then take action. When you're listening, one of my favorite teachers, Caroline Mice, she talks about the holy listening. When you pause, and this is one thing that I incorporate with my teaching, is like when you pause and you connect and you listen to the holy. You just listen. One of my ways of listening is going to nature. That's like the best thing. Yesterday, oh my goodness, our sunset here where I live, it's called the Back Bay, where I see the ocean. And the sunset was so magnificent that I went for half an hour and did nothing but did holy listening. I just sat and I watched and I listened to the sun come down. And I was absorbed by all the beauty that it was. I was listening to the divine. And that's what holy listening is about.
Yeah. What I see also is that in this moment, when you open up all your senses, then you are able to see the synchronicities, or to feel them, or to run into people you wouldn't expect them in this place, for example, and you get a better understanding about the timing, because sometimes we really want to bring something forward because this is our baby program or something, and so we really want to force it. But it's not the right time to do this in this moment. Yeah, we need to look back and see, is there a step missing, for example? And
Yes.
so I think this is really important, to have this moment that you listen to what is coming through, and after that you go into the next step of taking action. Yeah.
I don't know if you're okay with me sharing what we saw when I did the session with you about the beautiful center that you're opening, right? And when I did the scanning, it was obvious that the question that you asked was, is this center going to work for me or not, right? And we tuned in and we listened, and Spirit God gave you the answer, right? And the question is, the answer that was given to you, will you be taking action on it, right? Based on the question. And I'm curious to know if you have taken action on it, if you don't mind sharing that here with us.
Yeah, so it was about the holistic center I want to create here in Madeira. And yeah, I visited the house, and what happened is that I came in contact with one of the former tenants. And so even though you said, okay, step into this center, something really different happened, because I got an offer for even bigger center. And so it was really like, okay, it was like an explosion of what I expected to happen.
Remember, Spirit Guide said that you could go ahead and say yes to this one, but there's going to be a bigger one that is going to follow.
Yeah.
Right?
And, yeah.
But what happened? I'm just curious to know.
Yeah, so this bigger one already appeared. So so it is like, okay, I was not even into the center, and came in contact with someone who led the center before, and now we're thinking about cooperation, and there's a huge hotel. This has been a 5-star hotel that can become the center. So this is really like, okay, we jumped over certain steps, and right there it is. Yeah.
That's right. And you know what I love about you? You are such a manifester. Some people may have just said, okay, I'll start here. But because you're so aligned, Swanette, and because you are so vibrating at a certain frequency, the universe said to you, all right, we said this may work right now. This is such a beautiful example. This may work right now, but you have a choice to take action, knowing that there's something better and bigger. So are you going to pause and be that wise leader and stay in that space? Or are you going to be the leader that says, I knew this space is no longer going to serve me before I even go in, and I'm just going to dive into the bigger one that I knew that was coming. So I just want to applaud you for saying yes to the bigger opportunity. You're such a perfect, ideal someone who would listen to your spirit guide. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for giving me this offer, also experiencing one of your sessions. So we will speak about that a little later, because I still have some more questions about how you channel things, etc. But just for the audience, there will be a great gift at the end of this podcast. So please stay tuned until the end. Yeah, so you shared about these archetypes and about the altar process. So how can you understand in what kind of phase people are when they come to you?
So when I do the scan, as you have experienced it, and I see, sometimes I have no clue what I'm seeing. I've seen the weirdest, the bizarrest images. I've actually seen alien energies sometimes. You know, for those of you, you might think it's weird, but I've seen some alien energies sometimes, because I do believe that we're not all human here on Earth. I don't know, this is going a little bit too far, but like there may be alien energies here. And so besides that, when I do scan and I see someone, let's just use the hidden leader, right? There's a formula that spirit guides will then give them based on their archetype. And each formula is specific for the individual. And what I love about this work, it is not a cookie cutter. It is not one fits all. Based on what I saw and based on where they are, and based on their archetypes, then spirit guides give them a formula. And they called it a formula. I don't know why, but those are the words that were given. Everything, the altar process, archetypes, are all given to me by spirit guide. The formula is, I'm going to give you an example. For the working hard leader, right, who is constantly working too hard, what do you think energetically they need? They need to be grounded, right? They need to be on earth because they are floating, doing so much. They live here in their head. And how can we ground them? One of the things that I tell them is to be in nature. There's something that I absolutely love to do, and it's called earthing. Have you heard of earthing, Swanette?
Yeah, so Yes, and this is really something everybody can do, you know, going outside and connecting to the elements and to the trees and yeah, like the animals. So yeah, but go on. I'm
Yes,
sure a lot of people don't know about that. So can
yes.
you explain a little bit more? Yeah.
So the best way is you YouTube earthing. It's a little video actually, is a documentary about earthing. People actually are being healed. So apparently when we step onto earth, Mother Earth, just like Swanat said, water, earth, dirt, whatever it is that you feel called to connect with, for me, plants, um, you receive elements and energy from Earth, Mother Gaia. We have really dry weather here. And what happened when you receive this beautiful energy is your frequency becomes a little bit more higher, right? And whatever is happening in your body, you feel good and you ground yourself. So for the working hard leader, I say, go outside right now, drop everything, go hug a tree, go walk barefoot. I go to the ocean all the time and just play with the water with my feet. Go find a body of water, even Epsom salt, just ground yourself, pause, be in stillness. So that's one way I help the working hard leader really come down. Now for the ground rather, for the hidden leader, they need to physically get out, right? Because a lot of them are actually cooped up, or a lot of them are just hiding in their belief system or the limiting belief. This shall pass, this shall pass. I'll just hide until this shall pass, right? Their fear is so like embedded in their limiting belief. I begin to do work with their limiting belief and find out the source of where they're hiding. And a lot of times it's so sad, that breaks my heart when I do the scan. I see the little inner child that's really afraid because there was an incident that happened when their childhood. And the only way they cope, the only safety mechanism for them was to go into hiding, right? Could be from abandonment, it could be from being abused in every way, it could be from drugs addiction, whatever it is that happened to them and through their lives, they hide because the only way that they. So I do help them by looking inwards, a lot of inner child work, family entanglement work we happen. Also expanding love, because they don't feel good enough. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. One of my favorite things. So I did give you something that you could do if you're working hard leaders to do earthing. Let me give you a tool on those who relate to hiding. Listen to Yogananda Expanding Love Meditation on YouTube. Expanding Love Meditation by Yogananda. Just type that in and it will help you move from all the fear base into your heart, expanding your heart so you know that you are loved. And that way you are able to get out of from your head of fear into love. And when you do love, you're able to give more, not just for you, not just others, but give for yourself. So that's one of the things that I find when I scan the hidden leader and the formula for it.
So what about the wise one? Because normally we think they are already kind of high. What else do they need? And still
Right.
they're,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
staying in the comfort zone. They're not doing
Yes.
the next step, even though they perhaps fear that it is necessary. So
Yes.
what can be a formula for them?
Great question. So the formula for the wise leader, right? The wise leader is I'm good where I'm at. I'm safe. I don't need to do anything. Is I invite them to do something they have never done before to get out of their comfort zone. As simple as one person I was coaching that was a wise leader. Like she's very, by the way, they're very linear, right? They follow processes and systems, and they just cannot get out of their comfort zone. So when I was having conversation with her, I said, what is something that you really like don't care for much? And I don't know why, but she said, oh, I don't like it when women put really bright pink nail polish on. And I said, oh, really? Why not? I don't like pink. I don't know. I just don't like pink. I like just the neutral colors. I go, okay, I have an assignment for you. And she goes, what? I go, you're going to go to the manicurist and you're going to put the brightest pink color nail polish on. And I kid you not, she did it. And so now she can no longer coming from a place of judgment, because wise leader do judge. I have my stuff together. I'm judging those who are hidden, or I'm judging those. So she put on pink and she literally took a photo of her nails, and they were glitter on it. And I said, like, go all out. And it was satisfying that her little girl that has been told she has to be a certain way by mom and dad, because mom and dad, that's the only way, right? The sergeant, right? And she put on some pink. And then later she goes, I went to Macy's and I bought this pink dress to match my nails. Stepping into her feminine, because the wise leader operate from the masculine, because they have their stuff together, right? So get out of your comfort zone, do something, or eat something, or even meet someone that is unique and different. Get out of that comfort zone. Those are the formulas that spirit guides give them, is to do something outside of what you have been doing that may not necessarily be in business, or even add one more process, element, project to your business that you've never added before, right? Get out of that comfort zone. Serve people that are different than when you used to serve. So those are the formulas.
Yeah. And you already now said sometimes coming from the doing into the being. Can you explain a little bit more what you mean about that?
I love that. So the doing is the masculine. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to achieve. I am going. I worked hard. I was your, award-winning working hard leader. Literally for about 10 years, Swanette, 10 years, making sure that masculine leads, I was working, organizing, making events to make sure that my girls have a home over their head, bills are being paid, and their tuition to college, because I made sure that they both went through college, even if it caused me to have nervous breakdowns, and it did. But that was the part of me that wanted to work hard, hard, hard. But when I learned that there's another way, instead of doing, and of just being, again, it goes back to trusting the process. It goes back to knowing that there's someone that's walking beside you on that path that you have chosen. It goes back to the looking at the bright side of life, knowing that you're fully, completely guided. So the past few years, specifically during the time of pandemic, I went more into what can I do to lead from that place of being rather than doing. One of them is to serve humanity. Lead with how can I serve rather than how much can I get. That's one way feminine doing. Knowing that you don't have to worry about where the clients are going to come from. As long as you continue to do your work and show up and continue to give, you don't worry about whether your bills are going to be paid, knowing that it will always be paid. When I write a check, I say, I write this check with love, right? Having the tools to know that everything's worked. So one of the things that I want to share, one of my favorite things, because I do talk about the R for receiving, is receiving not just only love or relationship or health, but receiving abundance and money. And one of my favorite tools, again, I love giving tools, is I call it my green day, meaning I get a calendar and I get the marker that's green, and on the calendar I put a dollar sign spontaneously about 3 to 4 days. Now I have every single day of the month has a green dollar sign, green dot day, but I made them green dollar sign day. So you get a calendar, a wall calendar, not on the computer, and spontaneously tune in and you look at the dates and you say, okay, on Monday, Friday, and Saturday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to put a dollar sign. That means you're telling the universe that you'll be receiving, right? Abundance of any kind. When I began to do that, you have no idea what happened. I'm telling the universe there's abundance that's always coming, trusting that it will come. Even if I find a penny, if you find a penny on the floor, pick it up and write it down. You found a penny. If you were invited to dinner by a friend who actually paid because you received, you write it down. If all of a sudden I received so many unexpected little checks, I just have one in my purse just the other day, and it was $1 a day. And it was $10 from some utility company because they owed me when I moved from Illinois, right? Like stuff like that, sometimes unexpectedly, abundance that will come in because I told the universe on that day I want abundance. let's just put aside all the amazing clients that will come to me through referrals, through people like you, people that I do, this is a green day for me because I get to serve. And I'm hoping that whoever listening, I could gift you something, and you may or may not be a client of mine, but if you become a client, I'm going to put today's a green dot day, right? So allowing the being, which is the feminine, to have everything happen with ease and flow, rather than that doing, what do I need to do today in order for me to make money? That is going to eventually dissipate. It's about how can I be today? If you're feeling stressed, I go to the beach. I don't work harder to get more clients. I just go to the beach. I literally go to the beach, or I go to the swimming pool. My hot tub's open right now, thank God, in my space where I live. I just say, okay, I'm not going to worry about I am going to have a next client. I'm just going to unplug and go and enjoy. And I know that I'm going to be taken care of. It's a knowing. That's the feminine. It's a knowing, being in your feminine.
Yeah, and it's also about being connected to your intuition. So for me, what I see when I'm in the masculine state, I'm getting things done. But this only works when I have also phases when I'm in the feminine, and when I see the synchronicities appear, when I'm into my intuition. And sometimes, as you said, sitting at the beach, just watching the waves coming by, and it is like I'm changing my energy, and I'm getting kind of attractive for other people. So people come closer, or meet me somewhere and say, "Oh, yeah, I've seen you at the beach, and I have heard something about you. Can we speak?" Or people I only know from the social media show up here and say, "Oh, we are here in Madeira this week. Would you like to have dinner with us?" Yeah, sure, of course, yeah. So I have, I think, good green in my calendar at the moment as well. And but this is really concentrating on the abundance. Therefore, you have another vibration and you attract abundance. And this is also a very powerful tool. Thank you.
And you're wearing a beautiful color green, one of my favorite ones, pistachio green. I love it.
Yeah. So you already said now sometimes that you have a gift for the audience. And can you tell the audience a little bit more, what is this about? And I can tell you this is a great experience because I had the chance to have this 20 minutes with you. So can you share a little bit what is your gift you want to give to the audience?
Thank you. I continue to give the soul guidance session. I gift them. So you could literally schedule one with me. I do now I gift about 15 per month. I used to do 2 or 3 a day. I was exhausted. So I still have, actually June is coming up. So the calendar is open. You can literally go to saharnafal.com and you click on soul session, and you could just schedule it on my calendar. It's as simple as that. It's a 25-minute session where I go in and I do the body scan, and I see where you're at in your life, what's stopping you from whatever. You'll have an opportunity to ask spirit guides any questions that you have in regards to anything, just like Swanette did. She asked about the center and it showed up for her. I just invite you to come being open to receiving this gift. And also, whatever it is that intention that you come with, that an answer that you want, I invite you to drop it, because whatever spirit guide is ready to share with you, sometimes it has nothing to do with why you came, why you signed up. That's my favorite. And sometimes loved ones might come with a message, for you as well. So please do sign up. This is at no cost. It is literally a gift that I enjoy giving so much with absolutely no expectations. And obviously at the end, if there's something I could do to help you and serve you more, that is going to unfold organically, and it's going to show up organically if it's meant for us to work together. But if not, just for you to receive the frequency that is through me and it's transmission, it's transmuting, because something will shift and happen, just like Swanette said, like, you know, they gave her the formula and all of a sudden the other place, because she's so aligned and she was so ready, the other place showed up right away for her. Things like that will happen to you as well. So thank you for the opportunity for me to share. It's Sahar Nafal, SaharNafal.com, and click on the Soul Guide session and schedule it with me. Thank you for the opportunity for me to share.
So I will put the link directly in the description, and it will be very easy for people to find you there.
That's right.
Are there any options to find you on social media, or if people just said, oh, this sounds interesting, I would like to follow Sahar with what she's doing? Do you have a group or something where people can come in?
Sure. I have a Soulful Leader community with Sahar, Soulful Leader community. Again, I'm sure you'll put it in the description. And we have about 3,300 souls that are there, like-minded. I do Facebook Lives. I do monthly gatherings. It's a really interactive community of souls that are healers, coaches, speakers that come together. Again, I can't do it in person anymore, but I'm doing it through online Zoom. And also, quarterly, I do this online program called the Soulful Leadership, how to shift the old way of doing to a new way of being. Our upcoming one is in September. So through you following me on social media, Facebook, the Soulful Leader community with Sahar, and through doing this session, I'll get the opportunity to, share with you how I could plug you in so we could continue to evolve and grow and step into that evolved leader that you are meant to be.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is really amazing what you're doing, and I really can recommend people who are listening or watching this interview to connect with you and get this experience, because for me it was really, exciting and overwhelming, and what showed up was so different. And so I definitely ask people, do that, get that chance and connect with Sahar. And so now, last but not least, do you have some tips you want to give to the audience? So like a little takeaway at the end?
Yes, I'd love that. So let's go ahead and maybe if you're watching, put your hand on your heart and let's go ahead and do this together. Take a deep breath and just I want to invite you to receive whatever that was said here today and just take it in and allow anything that I have just shared with you, whether the archetypes or whether the altar process, to really be taken in. This interview wasn't just an interview. It's with two beautiful women that are here to serve, that are here to give back. Everything that came through me and through Swanette is something that is a gift to you. Just doing this interview is a gift to you. We invite you to listen to it again and again. We invite you to just be with it. Don't be overwhelmed by it and just allow. And lastly, trust the process. If you knew who walked beside you at all times on that path that you have chosen, you could never experience fear or doubt again. And so it is.
Thank you so much for these powerful words at the end. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening or watching my podcast, Holistic Creatives. If you want to know more about how I can help and support you, have a look at my website, spiritualchangemaker.com. You can also join my Facebook group, Spiritual Changemakers Community. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you also can check the previous episodes.